In this video I will be taking you through the basic karate techniques that I will be using throughout the rest of my channel and all the other videos. It's important that you learn these techniques and that you do them right to start off with, but once you get the hang of them, you can let them go piece by piece in that form and start applying them in a more natural setting a bit more. So as you start off and you begin, it's good to get the basics down. As we progress and move forward, you can let go of some of the, let's say, impediments that make it impractical for use in real life applications. Most of the techniques are from karate, but there will also be quite a lot that stem from Muay Thai or MMA. I'll be mixing them in all together depending on what exercise we are doing, but it's important that you get those basics down right from the get-go. So if you're not there yet, follow along with this small tutorial. Now what's really important is not just the upper body and the arm movements, but also to get your stance right. So a lot of movements from karate stem from the hip. There's a lot of hip rotation, and this holds from pretty much all of the punches, blocks and everything that you will see on this channel. It's not just for karate, it also helps you in MMA and Muay Thai to get the hip rotation and the flexors running. So these principles, they transfer to other martial arts as well. Another crucial detail is whenever you do a stance, usually your legs have to be spread apart. So if I'm facing the camera, they should be, let's say, shoulder width, even though one is forward, one is backward. Don't line them up because it will make you imbalanced. There are some stances that do use this principle of staying in a line. For example, like this. Most of the weight is on the rear leg and the front leg is basically making a 90-degree angle. So some of the basic techniques you will see me use that are very important to get down are simple punches. Now it might sound simple, but a punch is actually really difficult to get right. So there's basically two forms of punches. You can either punch with the front arm, and mind the hip being opened in this case. So I'm opening up my hip. Or you can punch with the rear fist, in which case the hip actually rotates in. When I am punching, usually the feet should stay where they are. So this is called a Senkutsu Dashi, which basically means feet are shoulder width apart. Most of the weight is on the front leg, some of the weight on the rear leg, and the rear leg is basically like a rubber band waiting to move you forward. So in this case my left leg is just waiting to move me forward. The rear foot should be, depending on who you ask, somewhere in the middle of, let's say, the 90-degree and 0-degree angle, so it should be at around 45 degrees. Should be facing slightly forward, not too much because that will make you unbalanced. And as you start punching, you will notice that it's very natural to slightly move your knee a little bit, maybe even move your foot as you are going. So closed hip with a rear punch, open hip with a front punch. Oitsuki, Jakutsuki, Oitsuki, Jakutsuki. Same holds for when you're southpaw and you use the other foot, in this case the right foot. Same principle hold. Whatever you do, pay a lot of attention to rotating the hips as you go. Just practice this until you get it down right. Another detail to get straight from the beginning is the actual movement of your fist. With karate it's very technical. One should be up front, the other should be in your side, and your palm should be facing upward. As you move outwards, as I'm going to punch with my right fist, halfway through we should see a slight rotation, but the actual rotation of the fist fully ends when we're, let's say, about a millisecond or 20 before hitting something. So that means that I'm going to keep it like this and only rotate it out at the very end. Now while I'm moving this fist forward, the other one moves backwards. So that means, let me just mirror it for you. While my right fist is moving forward, my left fist is moving backward. So the actual rotation of the fist, both left and right, comes at the end. So prepare halfway through, rotate at the end. That's the movement. Make sure that while doing so, your hip rotation is in sync with the punching. Yeah? So this principle holds with every technique that we do in karate. The rotation of the hips aiding the actual movement of your arms. Next up are some blocks. So there's the uchi-uke. It's a block that comes from inward moving outward. If you want to do it in a stylistic way, you actually prepare first. So your hand goes forward, the other one just under your armpit and moving outward. Mind again the hip rotation or closing it, opening it in sync with your arm movement. So prepare, make sure you prepare and block outward. This is very practical when somebody is punching and you just want to move it from inward, outward, away from you. That's what this one is for. Yeah? Then we have Soto Uke, is the opposite direction, outward to inward. Yeah? So if I'm facing forward, prepare, block inward. Yeah? Block inward. Now mind you, with the Uchi-uke, it's very natural and easy to move where the punch is no longer hitting your body. Yeah? So never stop here. This is a useless Uchi-uke. The fist will still be, the arm will still be hitting my torso. Make sure that you actually block it outward. With Soto-uke, this is a bit more difficult because we are coming outward, inward. Yeah? So we have to slightly over move. If you're not familiar with this, it feels like over moving, overdoing it. Now, as you progress in karate, you will be focusing on making as minimal a movement as possible. So that means with a Soto-uke, you should actually stop somewhere around here. Then the fist will most likely just miss my body. This will make it miss. This will make it miss just as well, but with less energy used on my part. Just as with the tsukis, the punches, for the blocks, also the hip movement comes with the rotation of the arms. Yeah, so mind my fist moving and only at the last bit blocking outward and making my palm face upward with hip rotation. Same for Soto-uke. Yeah? Make it come inward. So there's a lot of action, reaction in karate. Yeah, the action is moving the fist forward, the reaction is pulling one back. And make it strong. Another one that you will see me use is Age-uke, an upward block. So whenever somebody's going and aiming for your head, you may want to open it up upwards instead of inwards or outward. This is an Age-uke. Preparing again, one fist is in the side, the other is preparing, we're going upwards, so it's preparing upward. And we cross the arms. Yeah? Make an X movement, cross the arms, pull it up. Yeah? Now, this will work. This is probably better. Make sure it just moves over your head. That's enough. Yeah? You should be just looking under your arm. That's what we're aiming for. Again, mind the hip rotation. In or out. All of these movements are made in a Zenkutsu Dashi. Yeah, so this is a shoulder width stance, moving, facing forward. So what else do we have? Shuto-uke. Now Shuto-uke is in a different stance. Kokutsudashi, which is a 90-degree angle from my rear foot to my front. So basically a 90-degree angle where my heels would meet if they were longer. And you open up your hips and block outward with an open hand. So it's this part of your body, this part of your hand, sorry, that is making the actual block. And instead of making a fist, we keep our hand open, just around the belly button. Yeah? So make it open, or to the other side, open. If you want to block properly with a Shuto-uke, you have to use this part of your body. So don't end here, right? Don't end here. Move it slightly outwards. Not facing forward, slightly outward. That's what we're after. Shuto-uke. Shuto-uke. Yeah? Then there's kicking. in karate. Every kick that you do, I'm sweating like crazy, guys. Just did a workout before this. So every kick you do in karate basically always involves 4 steps at least. There is preparation, which usually means that you get your leg up. Then there's the actual kick. So that's 2 steps of the forward movement. And then in mirror you have 2 steps of the backward movement. So that means that after the kick is done, you need to make sure that you pull it back and place it back into the actual position. 4 steps. So just for a front kick, a Maigiri, Senku Chidashi or fighting stance. Fighting stance is just a slightly more relaxed version of Senku Chidashi. We will be moving up, forward, backward and down. Yeah? Once again, up, forward, backward, down. Other foot, same principle. So this is a Maigiri, front kick. With a Maigiri, in karate, typically we use the ball of the foot. So you actually need to make sure that your toes are facing up, otherwise you will break them, promise. I know this from experience. Make sure that you actually use that and not put your whole foot in, and definitely not pull them downward. This is guaranteed to break your toes. Yeah? So don't do that. Keep them up as you kick out. If you're doing MMA, Muay Thai, then you have the teep, which is similar to a Maigiri. But for teeping you can either annoy your opponent, which is kind of like a whipping Maigiri, or if you really want to do a front kick, you use the full foot. Yeah? So also the heel. Make sure you use the full foot. But the same principle from karate holds. Pull up your leg before you stretch it out, and pull it back before you put it down. In any real life setting, you would not be placing your foot back most likely, but you will be placing it forward. So usually if you do a Maigiri from karate, you place it backward. If you do the application, you will be moving forward as you are advancing your attack. So next to Maigiri, there's other kicks involved. For example, the Mawashi Giri, roundhouse kick, where if you want to do it right and practice it early on, basically you have to imagine that there is about a knee height bench or table or something standing right here, that you need to pull your leg over before you make the actual movement. And then you rotate it, you kick, pull it back, again over the bench and then place it down. So again 4 steps, pull it up, kick forward, get it back, put it down. Yeah? And make sure that you keep it high as you move it back as well. So other foot, pull it back. Yeah? What's really important with the Maigiri is that you use your hips, and the foot that you're balancing on should rotate. So don't keep it standing forward. This won't work, I can't even do it. Make sure that you rotate your hips and your leg and your foot as you're going. Now if you want to do this in an MMA and Muay Thai setting, you will see that the actual trajectory of the leg is much more direct. So you won't be moving it up, forward, back, down. You'll actually just go for it. So it's more of a diagonal movement, if you will, more directly towards the target. With a Mawashi Giri, technically you could do it with just the ball of your foot. So you kick like that. But this is very difficult to make an impact. So it's easier to actually either use the full part of your lower leg together with the upper part of your foot, or if you go for low kicks, which is the same technique as a Maigiri, just use the shin bone. Yeah? It's the hardest part of your leg, use your shin bone and aim for the lower part. So Maigiris, they can come in the form of a low kick, mid kick, or even high kicks. Yeah? I put on some gloves and put up my punching bag, which I should have done from the beginning, to be honest. Just to show you some techniques that you will see me use that are not directly from karate, but more in a practical setting. So MMA, Muay Thai, those sort of styles. Simply put, if we have the gloves on, the Oitsuki, the Jakutsuki that we've just seen from karate, they remain the same. Typically you will see me use them as a 1-2. It's a 1-2, which is a straight and a cross punch, we call it. Yeah, 1-2. Now, With karate, usually the defense, at least from Shotokan, which is my style, is pretty low, pretty relaxed. Yeah? We have a pretty relaxed hold of our hands and pretty deep stance overall. And the reasoning behind this is that we use a lot of kicks and we try to keep distance to our opponent. So it's more of a reactive sport where we just wait, maybe challenge the opponent to do something, and as they come we need to move forward as fast as we can. For MMA and other martial arts, typically you will see that the stance is a bit higher and that the defense is also higher. Yeah? So tuck in the elbows, keep your hands anywhere between, let's say, the upper part of your chest and your chin. Yeah? And be sure that you're ready to go forward. So a 1-2 is nothing more than Oitsuki Jakutsuki that we've just seen from karate. So 1, 2. And also here, remember, it really helps to rotate the hips as you go. Rotate your hips. It will give you that extra bit of power. Now another one is hooks. Yeah, so these are the 3/4. And they will come from the side. So again, we use the hip. If you want to do it technically just to practice, go from, let's say, a fighting position with your block slightly outward. Make sure that you raise your elbow. It's really important for a hook. And then it's up to you, at least from my perspective, to either keep your hand like this or rotate it 90 degrees. Yeah? Doesn't really matter for the impact. I always like to keep my hand with the palm facing horizontally. Yeah? So move it up and punch. Yeah? Move it up and punch. And make sure that you're fast in moving it back as well. Yeah, move it back. 1, 2. So in practical settings, even though it's really important to do the rotation and get your elbow up, you will see that this is a giveaway. And so whenever I'm standing and I'm fighting an opponent, an imaginary opponent, if I move away like this and pull up my elbow, then directly they know that I'm coming with a hook. So you will see UFC practitioners, MMA practitioners make more direct hooks, like that. More direct hooks. Perfectly fine as we progress. But for the beginning, make sure that you get the technical form down first. Yeah? So lastly, 5-6 is the uppercut. So normally an uppercut should be somewhere on the chin or cheekbone of your opponent. I will be doing it with a punching bag, so it's a little difficult because you will actually want to sort of come close to the body and then move upwards. But since there's no actual chin on my punching bag, that's not possible. So I will be aiming somewhere, let's say along chest height, and go from there. So even with uppercuts, the hip rotation is really important. So make sure you get that down. With an uppercut, move your body slightly down and come upwards as well. As you rotate the hips, you also do the upward movement. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. 5-6, up, upward, upward. Yeah. And notice how I'm moving my hips as well. Upward. All right. So lastly, there's a couple of techniques that you will see me use from Muay Thai that are also really important. Now, I don't have a formal background in Muay Thai. So I've only learned these bits and pieces from MMA and practicing MMA. But in Muay Thai, obviously, you use all limbs. So that means knees and elbows as well. So you will see me use them as well. And there's a lot of ways to apply elbows and knees. I will be showing you a couple and give you a bit of pointers on what to look out for. So elbows, pretty straightforward. You basically do a hook, as we've just seen. But now instead of using your fist, you use the elbow, the front part of your elbow. Now what's really important about doing elbows is that you don't tense up your arm. Yeah? That's going to tense up the muscles, and if you hit something really hard, it might actually strain the muscle. Relax your arm. Yeah? So you can make a fist, but don't tense. Like that. So relax the actual arm. Make sure that there's a lot of power in your shoulder and the upper arm, and less in the lower arm and your hand. So that makes for combinations where, just like with a hook, you move up the elbow, hit the opponent, and once more. Okay, in a combination. So my GoPro actually died on me, it overheated. So where was I? Doing elbows. Make sure you keep your elbow up And if you use them in a combination, this is what it would look like. So keep your guard up and make sure that you hit them elbows really hard. Yeah, use your hips to really get that extra oomph in there. So last up then, there's knees. You will see me use them as well. Now I'm not fully Muay Thai sufficient, so I've learned in doing knees from MMA mostly. And what I always try to focus on is when you do knees, you always try to use the, let's say, front part of the top of your shin where the knee starts. That's what you try and hit it with. Make sure it's not your upper leg, definitely not. And really important, always keep your toes downward. Yeah? So if you do a knee, toes should be down. Yeah, really important, otherwise you're going to hurt yourself. So there's two ways of doing knees, well actually three ways. You can do a knee just from the ground, forward. That looks like this. Very important is, at least when you want to put in some power, is to tilt your hips, let's say downward. Yeah, so you're slightly moving your body forward as you go forward with the knee. Now I'm over exaggerating now. And when you actually do make the knee, you tilt your hips upwards. Yeah? So it's going down, up. And this will help you get that momentum reaction that we know from karate just so well. So other leg just as well. Make sure you use those hips. Now if we can do it from the ground, obviously we can also do it in the air. If you do that, the leg that you're not using as a knee is going to do the preparation. Yeah, so you pull that one up and then knee with the other one. Huh? Knee with the other one. Knee with the other one. So whatever you do, also in a jumping knee, make sure that you keep your toes down. So always when I do a jumping knee, it's the foot that is in front that will do the actual knee. And that is because I need to cross, then do the knee. Yeah? So like that. Then lastly, if you're ranging closer in, so you're very close to your opponent, like this, or maybe even in a clinch, it's very difficult to get a proper knee down. And you can do that by pulling your leg backwards and kneeing forward, but it's more natural to come from the side. Yeah, so from the side. And what's good for us is that this is the same preparation movement as that we've seen with the Mawashi Giri, yeah, where we try to move over the bench and inward. So in essence, it's just a Mawashi Giri that doesn't complete because we don't actually stretch out the leg. Like that. Like that. Now you will probably see me use this once, maybe twice in a cardio exercise, because just grabbing the punching bag and doing a lot of side knees is really going to burn a lot of fat and really get you going. So there you have it, a whole bunch of basic movements and techniques that you will see me use in all of the videos. We've seen karate movements, punches, we've seen blocks, we've seen stances that are really important. Always keep a guard, and we've seen some punches from MMA, elbows from Muay Thai, and knees. So this is the full palette of what you will see me use as basic techniques. And as you get the hang of these, you will be able to advance to more advanced techniques, maybe a roundhouse kick or a jumping kick or what have you. Make sure you get these down properly and you get them down right. Yeah? Make sure that once you do have them, start to vary and make sure that you adapt them to your own style. So even though I'm telling you to really pull up that leg, twist, move it out and take it back, maybe that's not the most natural way for you to move. Maybe you like the MMA version where you just go directly diagonally to your target a lot more. So try and find your own style in this as we go along and you progress through the videos. I have done the same, and especially once you get more acquainted with all of these techniques, you will definitely put in a lot of yourself as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time. If you like this video, leave a comment, check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel.